All right, so you're creating videos on the regular, and now you're starting to discover that, sometimes there's gonna be a lot of files that go into creating a video, whether that's graphics or video files, B-roll, whatever it is. There can be an audio, obviously audio. There can be a lot of things that go into a project, and a lot of things can get misplaced. So, how can one stay organized? Well, I'm glad you asked, young person doing video, because this video is going to lay out some things for you to help you out. Let's check it out. I talk about this a lot, or I try to, especially when it comes to younger editors or people just starting out in creating video. I try to harp on this: stay organized, stay organized, stay organized, because we live in this remote world now. We live in this world where projects get handed off. We live in this world where, you especially with video, depending on how much video you're shooting, you have to put that stuff on an external drive. You got to make sure everything is sort of just, scratch my head, everything is in its place. All right, so we got to do that. So here are a few things that we're gonna roll into to help you stay organized on your next project. Number one, you're going to standardize your project structure. You're going to create a file structure that works for you every single time. Now, it doesn't have to be set in stone. You can modify it as you go along. You discover, oh, I need another file. I need another folder to stick whatever in. But for now, let's stick with something that we can standardize. If you look on the screen right now, I'll show you how I do it. I have certain folders in certain places. That way I can mirror those folders to what's actually happening in my editing or whatever. This way I can stick all my documents in the place, all my graphics in a place, all my audio in one place, and I know where it is. So standardize your project structure, and to do this fast, I use a program called Post Haste. Post Haste is basically a script that runs from your Finder, and it just duplicates the same project. You can either use that, and it helps rename everything for you. It's great. I'll put a link to it in the description if you're interested, or you can just simply duplicate a templatized folder structure every single time you start a new project. Every single time you start a new project. So you're going to put everything in its place, whether that's a document, put it in the documents folder. If it's an export, put it in the exports folder. If it's a storyboard, put it in the storyboard folder, video, etc. Put it all in its accompanying folder so it never gets lost. And then what I do to sort of build on top of that, I'll back everything up to the cloud. That way, if something ever happens to my computer, it won't get lost, whether that's Google Drive, Dropbox. It's just something I kind of do to help you out if you ever have something get damaged. These are our current projects that I'm working on right now. If it's an archive project, I'll back it up on 2 drives. The second thing to do is to figure out a naming convention on how you're going to name your folders and name your files. So what I do is basically, I do it by date, I do it by client, and I do it by, like the title of the project or the name of the project. So let's say it's something I'm doing for my church, for instance, the Graywood. So I date it today, I dated the date starting with the year first, so 2022, probably by the time you see this. So 22/01/01. So that's year 2022, January 1st, the first day of January, underscore client Graywood, underscore title, we'll call it new series X, whatever. And then sometimes if I'm working with multiple editors, I'll put my initials at the end of it just so I know that I worked on it or if somebody else worked on it. That way we can track something down if something gets lost. Find a naming structure that works for you. I like it by date because what happens if you do it by date, it'll actually, when you organize it into your Finder, it'll just start building down the list. And it won't be all over the place based on if something was named with an M and an A, but the M you might have worked on sooner than the A and it's all over the place. You want to do it by the date so you can find, in order what it is that you worked on. You can stay organized. It's fun. Here's a screenshot of what I do, kind of. So the last thing, and it's going to be the hardest thing, but the easiest thing, sort of like, the hardest thing to do for your health is to eat salad. It's easy. You just pick up a fork and eat a salad. But it's hard to do. You don't want to do it. So I'm gonna challenge you here now. Anytime you download something, anytime you get a new file, put it where it needs to go. If it's in the downloads folder, immediately take it out and stick it where you need to stick it in your folder. And then get rid of it in your downloads folder. Have a 0 downloads inbox. I'm not perfect with this. If you look at my downloads now, it's a disaster. Had a busy couple months. But I do constantly make sure I put whatever I download into the folder that is appropriate. So there are still times where I'll be missing a file and I have to hunt it down because I didn't do that. So try to be militant about sticking files where they need to go. Now, to summarize all that up, to help you out on your next project, to stay organized, is you need to standardize the project structure with folders, various folders and degrees of folders. You need to name the structure of the project by date, title, client, etc., whatever works for you. That date thing is super important, in my opinion. And immediately, the last thing is to immediately put those files where they belong whenever you get them onto, whenever you bring them into the project. Now, I hope you found this helpful, a really quick, short, simple video, but I hope it helps you out on your next project. I hope you stay organized, you don't lose any files, you don't have any nightmares or anything like that. And it's super important to do this at the beginning of every single project. That way you know where everything lives, everything has its place, and people are happy, you're happy. The world just shines a glimmer of glitter all over you, and it's amazing. It's just shower glitter. If you found this helpful, please share with one other person. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to release another video next week. I'm going to bring you some more actionable tips, some more whys and why nots and what's and what has you and who's you nots. So subscribe. I also have a coaching program I just launched this month. We're going through it with the pilot. We're going through it with the pilot people with the core group right now to finesse it, to get it all kinked out. If you're still interested in joining that pilot group, I think I might have 1 or 2 more spots, but you really have to schedule a call to see. If not, you can email me. We'll put you in the queue for the next round, which is going to start in probably about a month or 2, depending on how this goes. So please sign up for that, sign up for the newsletter, sign up for my whatever, shoot me an email, and we'll get you in the queue for that. I'm really excited about whenever this thing's gonna launch in its full, beautiful glory. Thanks for watching. Until next week.